Hello. Welcome, my friends. How are you? This is something very new for me, and I'm doing my best to combine live streaming and all these processes. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's impossible, but I'm doing my best because you deserve it. And today we have something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I didn't have the time to do it and prepare it for you. And basically, I think today is going to be something very useful for you to see. And I will pass you some details in order for you to decide what blade you should choose as far as the best brands in the world have to do, DHS and Butterfly. So give me a moment and let's see. I think everything is okay. Yes, and we can start. So I am Kus, as you all know. I'm loving table tennis a lot, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Today is a special day because we are going to compare some of the best blades in the market by far. Let's start off with one moment for me to check the connection, please. One moment. Thank you. Everything seems to be fine, so we are okay. Okay. Sorry, but this is the beauty of the live streaming. You see, we are not fixing videos and preparing what to say and everything. We are talking real here, and this is what you love about our channel. Of course, sometimes we do some videos that they have a lot of effects, but today we are going to do something different. And if you like it and you support it, then maybe we do similar videos like this. So today we're going to compare DHS W968, the blade of the GOAT, man long blade. This is the one, the original DHS W968 Hurricane Long 5 National. Remember it, this is the one, okay? We are going to compare this blade against the Hurricane Long 5, the newer version one, not the W968 newer version Hurricane Long 5 DHS one, against the Zanzai Super ZLC Butterfly blade, against the Zanzai ZLC, against the Viscaria, the Viscaria Super ALC FL, and against the most famous, I would say, blade of all times, Viscaria. So, let's start off with the blade of the champion, of the world champion, man long. I mean, this blade, I'm going to show you right now, we are talking about perfection. This is the Bible of table tennis, of the new generation table tennis. This is the blade that man long used, and I believe sometimes even now he uses this blade with a different maybe photo in the handle in order to dominate every single opponent there is. He used this blade, the W968 Hurricane Long 5. This is the national version one. This is the blade that the top Chinese players have been using for basically the last 8 to 10 years. This is the blade that man long won 2 Olympic gold medals and 3 world championships. This is the blade that established Ma Long as a god. This is the blade of the blades, W968, and if you are interested, you can purchase this blade in our site as well, and you can find it also in YouTube, in our channel. So, let me wait please 1 minute, so to have a look, because I think, yes, I don't have it inside, and bring it back, and I am coming. Sorry about it, but I wanted to use an overlay for you, you know. I did a lot of preparation about it, and you deserve the best from me, so I try to give you the best real live videos, first time to happen in Greece, from an amateur table tennis player, okay? This is me. And I enjoy a lot of table tennis, and I search around and I know a lot of things, and I'm very happy you support my channel, and you are helping us grow. So, let's go back now into the best blade in the world. For me, this is the best blade in the world if you are a top professional player. Otherwise, you are going to have some problems because it's very difficult to learn and it's not forgiving mistakes. So, this is the blade, as you can see. Okay, here it is. This is the blade, as you can see, brand new. You see, it has different packaging than the commercial, I would say, ones. This is basically handcrafted. This is top of the top professional blades. It has guarantee. And basically, this blade has some more details. I'm going to tell you about it. It has some info. So, this blade is going to be compared, as I said before, with the Hurricane Long 5, which is this one, okay? With the Zanzai Super ZLC, great blade as well from Butterfly. With the Zanzai ZLC, with the Butterfly Viscaria Super ALC, and with the Viscaria FL, which is the most famous and most used, I would say, worldwide blade from Butterfly. So, let's start off with more details about these blades. As I said before, please excuse me because this is 100% real live streaming, okay? And I am doing it myself and I dedicate it to all of you. So, DHS W968 Hurricane Long 5 National. This is a limited edition blade designed for the Chinese national team. It's made, this blade, from a combination of carbon, fiber and wood. This means that this blade has a lot of power and speed. This is something that is very, very good, but of course sometimes you might lose some easy balls you wouldn't lose with another blade that you have less power and less speed. It has a large sweet spot. This means that the surface here is slightly larger than the surface of the common seen around Hurricane Long 5 blade, and this means that it has a large sweet spot, so basically you have more chances to hit the ball, and good control. That is a very, very popular choice. Right now, most of the Chinese players are using this blade, W968. For offensive players, is the best choice for offensive players that want to dominate the game. But always there is the negative point that you might lose an easy ball, an easy push, for example. You have to be 100% focused. The mistakes are not allowed when you are using this blade. And if you compare this blade with Hurricane Long 5, but basically nowadays you can find it everywhere, you can see that this has less, smaller, I would say, surface hitting. Smaller surface hitting. So, let's put this away, 1 minute. So now let's move on to this blade. This is the second of DHS blade. I have with me 2 DHS blades. For me, they are the best, depending on your style, of course. And 4 butterfly blades. And for me, after around 5 years of playing around and using them, I believe these are the best. So, let's move on a little bit. One minute. So this is the DHS Hurricane Long 5, and this is very, very popular blade from DHS. This photo has been taken after Malone won his second Grand Slam, and that's why this is from Tokyo, this photo. And this is, I would say, more backhand oriented blade than the W968 national one. This is designed for players but they want a fast and powerful style of play, and it is made from 5 layers of wood and 2 layers of carbon fiber, which provides a lot of spin and speed. This blade has slightly softer feel than the one I showed you before, than this one, okay? This is top of the line, but it's not forgiving any mistake, okay? This has slightly softer feel compared to the W968, and this has the benefit that I would say is a little bit better sometimes in the backhand section, but I haven't yet tried the W968 newer version of this blade. I think sometime it will be released, and I don't think a lot of tests have been around this blade as with this blade, with the national version. But of course, I believe this has softer feeling than the other one. So it depends on you which one you would like to choose. For me, I have used both of these blades, okay? And although sometimes I feel a little bit to have more control in the backhand with this blade, all the time I prefer this because when you are doing your pivot and when you are doing your forehand, you have much more strength, you feel much more powerful during the shot. But I have lost a lot of points due to the fact that yet I'm not 100% able to manage the possibilities that this blade can offer, okay? So I'm not yet ready, but I'm getting there. It needs time. Remember that Ma Long still uses it. He's still doing sometimes mistakes, okay? Everybody does mistakes. And the most important, he won every single title using the W968 version. And that's why, if you see now, most of the Chinese players, they are using this blade. So they switched from the Viscaria they used to use, they switched to the DHS W968. Okay? So this is not the national version, this is the common version, and I would say it is much more softer. Zhang Zhang, another greatest of all times, and here we have Zhang Super ZLC, okay? This is an excellent blade, and this blade has been, this is from Butterfly. I have been using this blade in the past as well, but because I am used in playing much more powerful, for me, I choose the DHS way. But this doesn't mean that this is not a very good blade. This blade has been created after working with Olympic gold medalist Zhang Zhai. He's a Grand Slam as well. And this blade, as you can see, very nice blade. Zhang Zhai blade, okay, very nice blade. This blade, it's made of a combination of carbon fiber and wood and has a very thin blade profile. The profile of this blade is very thin, and this provides excellent speed and power, but may require more skill to control. So it has a smaller surface than the W968 national version, and I would say it has some softer style, and sometimes it requires much more skill to control, definitely if you are far away from the table. And basically, if you have noticed Zhang Zhai playing, you will see that sometimes when he was far away from the table, Ma Long had the upper hand because Ma Long was using the other blade, and it was much more difficult to control. But if Zhang Zhai played 100%, then we could see a lot of very good quality game playing with the Super ZLC Zhang Zhai. Okay, so have a look. Very nice blade. Okay, it depends always from your preference and your style. Very nice blade. So now, after this blade, we have to move. I put them here, so I try so you see. We have to move after this blade into Zhang Zhai ZLC. Ma Long and Zhang Zhai are my favorite players, okay, and I believe most of us that are playing table tennis, maybe we wouldn't been trying to progress if we didn't have these blades made from these players, you know, but they help us to progress our game. So, this is a similar blade to the Super ZLC, to the one I showed you before, but this has a thicker blade profile. This is thicker. This has a thicker blade profile, okay? And this provides more control and it's slightly softer feel. Supercell ZLC is very powerful. It's not as powerful as W968, but this blade here is less powerful, but it has a softer feel. And this is, I would say, a good option for players who want to balance between speed and control. For example, if somebody was telling me speed or control, I would always go for speed and power. But this is not always good because, as I said to you, a lot of times I am losing games because of wrong quality balls I give in the game because I do some mistakes. But the feeling you get with a very powerful blade is unseen and uncanny with all the other feelings. Okay, so this is the blade. As you can see, it has the signature of Zanzai, okay, ZLC. 1 minute. Now we are moving into our other blade, the third blade from the butterfly, and this is the Viscaria Super ALC. This is the new actually upgraded Viscaria blade from Butterfly. As I said to you earlier, Viscaria is the blade that basically revolutioned the table tennis blade, I would say, era. And after, for me personally, the Viscaria, W968 DHS came and basically took table tennis in other dimensions. So I would say we have the period that all the players were using Viscaria, and now we have the period that all the players, they are using, most of the players, W968. So this is a high-end blade from Butterfly, and this is designed for offensive players, okay, have a look, that they want maximum speed and spin. This blade here, as you can see, Viscaria Super ALC, it is made of 5 layers of wood and 2 layers of carbon, arylate carbon, and this provides excellent speed and a large sweet spot. So this blade has a large sweet spot like the W968, but is not as powerful as W968, but is still very good. It has very good control and makes a popular choice for the people that they want an upgrade from Viscaria into something a little bit more, I would say, powerful. They want is a very good choice for people who want to attack but still maintaining their high level of accuracy. But again, here is not as easy as with the Viscaria. I'm going to tell you afterwards. Again, as you can see, this is the Viscaria Super ALC. Okay. Before we go to the final blade, as you can see here, I don't know how it looks like, okay? But if you don't try, you don't succeed anything in life. So I say, why not to try and to do my best. This is all I can do. Butterfly, Super, ALC. Very nice blade as well. For me, basically, these two companies are the best in the world, DHS and Butterfly. So then it's basically to your preference and your playing style. So let's go now in the Viscaria. This is very famous blade. This is an older blade from Butterfly, but is still popular among the players. It is similar to the Super ALC, but it has much more softer feel, so it's better for touches, for pushes, it's more forgivable, but it gives also very good speed and control. But sometimes, you know, you have to be careful if you are a little bit mid-distance from the table, because it's not as powerful as the others, but you have very good control. Again here, as you can see, this is the Viscaria. Okay, from Butterfly. As I said before, this is an older blade, and it's very good choice for all around players. But we want to balance between offense and defense. I have used this blade as well in the past, but I switched after the legend of Greek table tennis, Daniel Siokas, taught me. I moved from Butterfly to DHS because when we started training and he started coaching me, he noticed that my body and my style basically was built for the DHS W968 version. So I'm using this blade for the last 3 years and I am still learning it. And it's not easy, I'm doing my best, and hopefully sometime, you know, I will be able to learn it, not 100%, but at least 50 to 60%, because it's impossible for somebody to learn a blade 100%, because always something changes, and it depends from a lot of factors, even from the area you are playing and from the temperature and all these environmental factors. So these are the blades, and I would like to sum up a little bit. Overall, all these blades have their positives and negatives. They have their strengths and weaknesses. If somebody doesn't care to lose, like me, and he wants to enjoy table tennis maximum, 100%, because for me, always the purpose is to win a game, but sometimes it's impossible. And if sometimes I win 2 or 3 very nice points, I am so happy that for me it's not the top aim right now to win a game. Of course, I'm always doing my best, but sometimes it's impossible because sometimes other players are better. Sometimes my mind state is in different area. I'm thinking something else, you know. But always, for me, the most important thing is to enjoy table tennis and to see what you can achieve in your game and how to be able to have to be creativity, to be creative in your game, and to have mobility, to be able to move and basically design your game the way you want to express your personality. You know, sometimes, I don't know if you have noticed, a lot of top professional players that they play, and even sometimes they win a point, they are not happy because they won the point the wrong way. I want to win the correct way. I want to play well and win. Otherwise, I don't want to win. So this is my focus, and this is something that I learned from my coach, my friend, my mentor, Daniel Tsioukas, and this is something that my current coach, Stavros Redakos, is telling me as well. But the most basic thing is not to win. Win will come. The most important thing is to try to develop your skills and play a good game and enjoy table tennis, because this is what we have to do. We have to enjoy table tennis. And all of us, after the match, to be like a big family. So, overall, all these blades have their strengths and weaknesses. And the best one for you will depend on your playing style and preferences. If you are an offensive player, okay, and you want maximum power and speed, and this is what you want. It doesn't mean that because you want it, you are going to achieve it. But if you are an offensive player like me, for example, that you want maximum power and speed, DHS W968 Hurricane Long 5 National is a great choice, or a Zanzai Super ZLC. So this and these two blades, if somebody is, I would say, very powerful, he wants to play top with a lot of maximum power and speed, then these two blades are very good choice, okay? So always remember W968, not the Hurricane Long 5, but the W968. It's much more different in the quality, okay? And the strength and the power. And that's why it's much more expensive. So we have Super ZLC and DHS W968 Hurricane Long 5 National. If somebody wants to have a balance and he says, okay, I don't want to be all the time 100% focused, is impossible. And basically this is something I should have done probably, but now I'm so addicted in the W968 DHS Hurricane Long Malong version that, you know, I cannot go back and use any other blade anymore. Then, if somebody wants to be able to not play so strong, he can use Hurricane Long 5, this one, or Zanzai Super ZLC. This is the Zanzai. These two blades. And 1 minute, I think, yes, this is the one, yes. ZL, Zanzai ZLC, yes. And if you want to have a balance now, if you want a softer feeling, this is something in between, I would say. And if you have to have a balance between speed and control, softer feeling, then the DHS Hurricane Long 5 or the Zanzai ZLC may be more suitable, as I said to you before. If you want now a high quality blade again all around, then the Super ALC or Viscaria may be a good choice. So basically, we have three different, I would say, choices, depending on, I would say, how you want to progress in your game. If somebody wants to go full on, then he has these two choices. W968, Hurricane National, Hurricane Malong, Zanzai Super LC. I mean, these are top, very strong. They don't forgive mistakes. So you have to make sure, okay, you play correct. Otherwise you lose. Remember it, okay? You might do a crazy point that nobody else has the ability to do, but mistakes are not allowed when you are using these two great blades. Now, if you want something that is a little bit more forgivable. And it has a little bit softer feel. Then you can go to Zanzai ZLC, okay, and to Hurricane Long 5, not the W968, be careful, this one, as I said to you, is different than the W968. W968 is the top choice of the top professional players in the Chinese national team, okay? This one is much more cheaper, of course, and is all around nowadays, everybody, is buying this one, but it has nothing to do, as far as strength and power have to do, with the other one. So, again, this blade is, I would say, less power level than the Super ZLC, and it would be something in the middle. So basically, if you are, I would say, into the middle, and you are some kind of intermediate, or from beginner, from full beginner to intermediate level, then, and even more, then these are great choice. Now, if you are starting and you want to focus on something that is very, very good, and in order to develop your skills and then move forward from Viscaria to Zanzai and then to Hurricane Long 5, which for me this is the normal and the correct procedure, then you can use, for softer feeling as well, much more forgivable blades. They have power, they have very good control near to the table, but as soon as you get back, then you are going to notice that you have to use your body different than when you use the very strong blades or the less stronger blades. These are still very strong tables, blades near to the table, and they are very good also for beginners, and a lot of pros are using them as well, because nowadays with the new regulations and the change of the ball, it's very important to be able to attack close to the table. So if you learn these blades well, you can start from beginning and finish your career using the Viscaria, and that's why they are all famous. They are so famous, the Viscaria, because it's very successful. So, hang on a minute, please, to sum up. Let me, bear with me 1 minute, please, and I'm coming back. Thank you very much. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I do it in English, although my English is not 100% correct, but again, this is part of a live stream, and this is why people want live stream, because people want reality. I'm doing my best to give you something that you haven't seen in Greece ever, and promote the wonderful sport of table tennis. This video wouldn't have been able to exist without the support from our proud sponsors, Kush Group and TableTennis11.com, the best of the best for online shopping around table tennis. And as I said before, please have patience in your game, know what you want to achieve, okay? Don't rush, trying to be creative, to try to create a nice point, exchange a lot of balls, and in the right moment do attack. And this is the beauty of this sport, but there are a lot of choices, and for me this is the best sport in the world because the only person that you can depend on yourself in order to improve. There are so many choices, so many new equipment that they help you develop your style, and together with your coach you are able to progress forward. And one final advice to all of you, please find the blade you like and do not change it until you learn it. I see a lot of friends of mine, they switch very fast from this blade to this blade to this blade. All the time they are switching blades. So they end up never actually learn a blade, because even the top professional players, they need at least 2 to 3 years to learn one blade. And suddenly you see a lot of people in 1 year that are changing 3 or 4 blades. They never learn 100% correct the blade, and this basically is very bad for their game. So I would say get the advice from your coach, respect your coach, and support what your coach says, and then follow what you have to do in order to learn the blade correctly. I mean, when I started playing table tennis, again, because I started very young, but due to the university studies and all the priorities of life, I stopped for some years and I started later in life, again, basically around 5 years ago. When I started, because I didn't have time a lot to, and I wanted to gain time, I chose a lot of blades, and suddenly I was lucky because my coach, Daniel Tsioukas, said to me, after using exactly the same rubbers in basically 5 to 6 blades, without the coach knowing what blades I am using, the rubbers were the same, because always remember, the blade has to do with 60 to 70% of our game. 30% is our rubbers, but the blade is the most important thing. And all the feeling we have in our hands, we don't have it if we don't have the blade. And basically, in order to get to the final choice of your blade, you have to pass through stages. And in order for me to avoid, because I didn't have enough time to spend 1.5 years in one blade, 1.5 years in the other blade, I said, okay, I do some training, I do exactly the same movement, I do exactly the forehand topspin with different blade, exactly the same rubbers. My coach, Daniel Tsioukas, didn't know, the legend Daniel Tsioukas, didn't know what blade I was using, and basically we were doing this in this room here. So this is a historical place here, I'm filming this video. I remember back in 2018, Daniel Tsioukas was sitting and holding me. I was in the other corner of the table and I was doing spins. I had all the blades here. Daniel didn't know that I was using Viscaria or ZLC or the DHS W968. Daniel Tsioukas didn't know anything. He knew that I was using the same rubbers Back in the day, I used the Tenergy rubbers from Butterfly, the same rubbers onto different blades. And suddenly, after I'm doing exactly the same movement, he said to me, stop. And I say, are you sure? And he says, yes, this is the blade. So I followed the advice of legend Tsioukas. He said to me, don't rush, don't worry, if you lose, wins are going to come. He was 100% right, because after losing a lot, suddenly my confidence increased and I started winning games and tournaments, and now basically I am in a very good level as far as confidence have to do, no matter the result, because sometimes, confidence might not get you the first place, but at least if you have good confidence and you know that you can support the equipment you are playing with, you have good time, and this is the most important thing, not being the number one in your club, but having the best time in your club, and this is what I do for myself. And Daniel Tsioukas back in the day says to me, you stop. And when I stopped, he said to me, give me the blade, and suddenly I give him this blade, the blade back in the day, and he says to me, this is the blade you are going to use. Forget all the other blades, okay? Very wise information I get from Daniel Tsioukas. Forget all the other blades that you have been used, and you are going to focus on learning this blade. So basically this was a DHS Hurricane long blade, and then I started, after I found that DHS Hurricane was the blade I wanted to improve, slowly I started improving using this blade, and then I ended up to the best blade ever, to the blade that the Chinese national team is using. So I gained a lot of times. I believe if I didn't invest money back in the time, back then I would still searching around for the perfect blade. But of course, sometimes it's not necessary to have all these blades brand new. You can borrow from a friend of yours in a club and say, please, can you give me your blade for 5 minutes? So you know if you are going to do a certain movement and you're going to do a forehand top spin, or you're going to do a push, you can understand the feeling. So if you are going to do exactly this move with different blades, then you understand which blade suits you. So this is the main trick that helped me in order to be able to progress. And don't worry, don't care anymore what new blade to buy. I have the best blade, and this is the best blade for me, okay? For some other people, the best blade might be this, or might be this. But when you find your perfect blade, don't switch until you are sure you have learned this blade 100%, okay? Because it's a waste of money, and basically if you are not able to unlock the full potential of the blade you have chosen, then you have failed. So I have not yet been able to get the full potential of this blade, and I don't believe basically I will ever be able to get 100% the full potential out of this blade. At least I will try. Thank you very much for your love. It was a long video. I hope it went, I hope you found it useful, this information. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your love. As I said before, basically today we showcased 3 groups, the most powerful blades This is the W968 and the Super ZLC, very, very powerful blades. Then something in between the very soft feeling and the most powerful blades, Zanzike ZLC and Hurricane Long 5. As I said to you sometimes during the video, I don't know when the W968 version of this blade will come, and if it will come, because the success Malone had with this blade, that he won basically every single title from 2014 to 2020-21, makes, I believe, DHS people a little bit hesitant regarding replacing this blade, because this blade is very, very, very good. And still, I believe this is a forehand top spin machine, you know, unbeatable. But I have seen Malone playing in the tournaments now with this here, with this photo underneath, which means basically Malone, because he's the GOAT, he always has new equipment being tested from him, and sometimes I believe that some losses might have happened due to the fact that he has to switch, he has switched from this blade, you know, to the backhand-oriented style blade. But of course, the GOAT is always the GOAT, so no matter if he loses a game or two, he will always remain the best, and it doesn't matter. And the most important thing is to enjoy table tennis. And I really hope we are going to see him and witness his magic talent in Paris. Okay? And now, if somebody wants to start and say, okay, I'm a beginner, I'm starting, I want to improve, and I want to create the basic, to have the basic feeling and still have very, very good control and power close to the table, but remember, these blades are not very, very good for mid-distance to long distance, because you have to put more strength into them. So sometimes if there's a lot of shots in between, it's harder. Then you can go for the Viscaria all-time around blade. Okay, this is the Viscaria and the Super LC. So both of the Viscarias. Okay, but most of the times it depends. So basically, my advice would be, as soon as you find the way you want to play and the way you want to improve in your game, ask your coach, okay, and then say, okay, I want to go through this direction. One is for sure, if you go the hard way, if you choose the W968 or the Super Zanzike, the Super ZLC, for sure you're going to miss some very easy balls. Remember it. Some balls that definitely you wouldn't be missing with these blades, okay? Because the feeling of these blades is much more better for a beginner than the feeling of this. But as soon as you learn these blades, you are going to see perfection, believe me. You are not going to believe in your eyes. You are going to play one point and don't even believe you played the point. So this is the beauty that the professional equipment gives to somebody who loves table tennis. Because this equipment here is top of the line, okay? Especially this is being used nowadays from all the Chinese national teams. So you can imagine what we're talking about. And if you want something in between, you can go onto the Zanzike ZLC, Carbon, and the Hurricane Long 5, the one that you can find basically in all the stores in China, okay? And one last thing is that you have to remember that this blade the W968 is very, very limited and is very, very difficult to find it. And if you find it from a place outside Europe, or even in a place that in Europe you are not 100% sure is going to be original, do not buy it. Because a lot of people selling fake W968 national blades, national Hurricane long blades. Okay, so always be careful where you're buying your blades and equipment from. Thank you very much for your love. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your support. I know it has been a long presentation, I would say. Both of these brands are top. For me, basically, my choice is the DHS, but some other people, they choose Butterfly. They have similar characteristics, but for me, the way I want to improve is the Chinese way. So I always go for what has to do, what is more connected to the China, to China and to the Chinese way of styling of play. And I try to do these kind of things here in Greece and to improve my game, trying to follow as close as possible some exercises from China. Of course, I'm loving my country. Greece for me is everything. But we have to give respect to people that are progressing the sports in other countries as well. Now, if somebody else wants to go a little bit easier, then Butterflies are these choices from Butterfly are much more easier to handle, and they create a very good base as well. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you for your love. See you in our next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.